Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back as we take a look at the Taurus New Moon chart. The new moon is exact on April 27th, 2025 at 3:29 p.m. That's Eastern Time, so be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. So this new moon is happening at 7 degrees of Taurus, 46 minutes, where the sun and moon are conjunct as they are for each new moon cycle. This is a time of planting your intentions and being clear in what you want to grow and build. Taurus is fixed earth, and it takes the inspiration, action, and potentials of Aries energy and puts it into a form. Brings up the practical questions, asks you to consider what's the process, how is this going to work, what does it look like? So there is a realistic checking in point here, and there are earth signs that follow all the fire signs. So we come into the real world now, ground in to understand, what do I do with the eclipse energies, the retrograde energies, and coming off of the intensity of the Pluto-Mars opposition that was also a grand cross with this black moon Lilith. She's literally the darkest thing on the chart, right? So this is bringing you into this moment, this chapter, this part of your journey, and bringing a focus to your intentionality of what you value, what you want, and what you need. Taurus energy is self-reliant. I'll do it myself. I'll do it my own way. I'll keep going. It's a very determined energy. Taurus is the bull, bullish, stubborn, patient. And the universe is asking you to focus here on what you want to create, that it's like it deeply resonates with a softer energy, a gentleness, a calm. What brings you into a calmer part of yourself, of your heart, of your beingness? This energy is also about the five senses and how you interact with the world, how you interact with the environment, what you seek out, that you enjoy, you love, it brings you pleasure. And the ruling planet of Taurus is Venus, still conjunct Saturn, which has been the case for all of April. Also conjunct this North Node in Pisces. So Venus has been traveling with Saturn and the North Node, bringing your attention to a turning point, endings, transitions, what you are completing and moving away from, where you could feel that this is a closing out. And there could be a sense of needing to find peace with it. Peace with the endings, peace with the lessons, peace with the consequences. You know, Saturn is the consequences of our choices, actions, behavior in the real world. And so this Venus has been dealing with something on her own in these late degrees of Pisces, the very end of the zodiac wheel, closing out parts of herself that she's meant to take the best forward. That's the North Node. Take the parts that uplift you. Learn from what you've been through. Embrace new levels of self-compassion, self-love. And I feel that this Venus, she has deeply changed over the course of her retrograde that started back on March 1st. She is still in retrograde territory. She doesn't clear her retrograde until May 16th. So she's still gathering together more of who she's come here to be in this lifetime. She will enter Aries April 30th and then be conjunct this Neptune, which will be at 1 degree of Aries on May 2nd. She's not there yet. And I feel that this particular Taurus new moon is about coming to terms with a part of your experience that maybe taught you a lot, healed you, guided you, showed you more of your spiritual growth, your soul lessons. I feel too like there's an element here of developing strength. Saturn also wants us to acknowledge ourselves, recognize yourself. There's a self-acknowledgement in play. And Venus has been feeling the intensity of this Saturn. And it feels too like she's getting, I just keep seeing sparkles. She's getting some new sparkles from the North Node about what matters to her in her heart, in her creative self, in her true essence. And she's getting these new sparkles that she'll move forward with. So overall, this is quieter energy that's happening in the background. The Taurus and Pisces influence can be more subtle, observing, reserved, which can actually be a nice balance to the intensity here of this opposition that is starting to ease up a bit, just a bit, as Mars moves forward. So Mars moves ahead. This Pluto is going to station retrograde May 4th and 5th. So Pluto is not moving. Pluto's at a standstill and is embarking on a deep dive into more of what you want for the future, perhaps some new life dreams, new understandings of who you are and who you came here to be after this third and final opposition to Mars in Leo. Now, this Mars is actually the energy that has been deeply evolving and changing because of the Plutonic forces. And this Mars is meant to shift his concept of self, creativity, what he goes after, how he shows up in the world, and what he wants. And so you could be really considering, well, what do I want next? There are more planets moving into fire signs now. And so this Mars has been in a trine to Mercury in Aries. We, of course, have Neptune in Aries, Chiron in Aries, and then we'll have Venus in Aries. So the fire energy is coming forth to get things moving after intense retrogrades of all three personal planets and the eclipse energies. And so there is a momentum building here that's going to pick up through May. So we close out April and into May, the momentum will pick up. I just feel like there is a standstill occurring at this Taurus new moon. And perhaps it's even an invitation inward to gain clarity on what you want right now. Again, what brings you peace, what maybe settles your soul or gives you deeper grounding at this time. And then with this black moon Lilith at 3 degrees of Scorpio, she's been involved in the Mars-Pluto opposition. She was squaring both planets in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto. And bringing up what's in the emotional body that is uncomfortable, that you don't want to look at or acknowledge. The fears, the shadow energies, the aspects of self that we want to lock away, or even want to kill, even want to get rid of it. This Black Moon Lilith is important in this story, is important in the end of April, because she is showing up to the conversation here and bringing in the emotional body, the fear body, what you've been deeply feeling or sensing. And she wants to dig in because she is in the underworld of Scorpio. She wants to dig in and get into the pain, trauma, abuse. She wants to get in to the depths of perhaps her rage, her feelings, the intensity that she's holding. And she's feeling this opposition from the sun and moon that are saying, just calm down, keep it together. Because the Taurus energy doesn't go into the emotional depths. But this particular Black Moon Lilith is requiring that we can't just be about the surface. We can't just be about what is seen, which is Taurus. It's what is seen. And there's more at stake here. There's more going on that is requiring us to understand the complexity of ourselves. And this Black Moon Lilith is in a square to Pluto, still in a square to Mars, still unsettled. So we're going to need healthy outlets to release emotional intensity, anger, any power struggles or feelings that you're working through or working with. It does have to be acknowledged. When I'm looking at more of how the Taurus New Moon chart is deeply connected to the Mars-Pluto opposition, and we could be finding how to settle ourselves, how to ground ourselves. And it would be through a deeper connection to your God self, your spiritual essence, your higher self, and the fact that there's a bigger cycle happening here that's necessary. It's time. That's what Saturn says. It's time to deal with this. Whatever this Venus is dealing with, it's right on time. It's a destined ending completion. It's a destined finalization that sets her free. So just know that with the Taurus New Moon happening this weekend, over the weekend, there's a lot more going on in the psyche, the emotional, intuitive areas of ourselves that are moving through deeper layers. And you could feel that there's release occurring too, as this Uranus at 26, Taurus is sextiling the 3 planets and points still in Pisces. And this gives us the sense of liberation, change, being open to the changes, moving forward, taking a risk, probably a risk that you weren't ready for, you didn't think you wanted. Now there's like, yeah, I'll go for it. Sure. Why not? What is there to lose? I'm ready. So trust that in yourself. If you're feeling ready for a change that even surprises you, that is still strong here in this chart, especially during the Taurus new moon. So as always, thank you for joining me to look at this astrology chart. I appreciate your comments, your likes, your subscribes. And I hope that as you move through the intensity here that shows up the end of April, you're remaining true to yourself, your self-worth, your self-love, and you're allowing the changes to strengthen you even more. Take good care. I'll see you back here soon.